Last year's Brier was a different time, full of empty seats and uncertainty, but this year in Lethbridge, we saw a glimpse of a return to normalcy. The patch was bouncing, the fans were cheering, and the curling was extraordinary. For the second year in a row, 18 teams arrived in Alberta dreaming of finishing the week standing on top of the podium and etching their names in history, knowing just how difficult that would be. From the moment the first rock was thrown, these teams put on a show that will not soon be forgotten, and you got a feeling early on that this Brier was going to be something special, with plenty of stories to tell, and it did not disappoint. Every year, Canadians young and old sit at home and dream of one day representing their home at the Brier. And for a select few every year, that dream becomes reality. For a young team out of Newfoundland this year, that was just the case, breaking through to make their first Brier and breaking records along the way. When their fifth stepped out onto the ice, he became the youngest person to ever compete. This young team grew up watching a kid from the Rock win Olympic gold, 3 Briers, and plenty more to boot. And who was there to cheer them on as they came off from their first ever Brier game? Well, none other than that very team they grew up watching themselves. McDonald, Labatt, Nokia, Tim Hortons, no matter what you call it, for 95 years the Brier has been the pinnacle of Canadian men's curling, used to select who will represent all of us at the World Championship. But it's about so much more than just that. It's about the friendships formed on the ice and back at the patch. It's about the love of the game and the pursuit of excellence. And at times like this, probably more than any other, it represents all of Canada coming together to celebrate something uniquely Canadian. For the first time in 2 years, the seats here were filled with something other than cardboard cutouts, and the people of Lethbridge showed just how magical a crowd can be. They rallied behind a curler from just up the road who, when it seemed like everything had been taken away, received a call from Oromocto and was given a second chance. They rallied behind a veteran who was looking to break a record of his own and etch his name onto the Brier tankard for a record 5th time as a skip. And when COVID struck and all seemed lost, they rallied behind a team that would have to try to win their 4th Brier without, arguably, their best player. For the first time ever, our Olympic representatives competed at the Brier, and Team Gushu seemed to be on a roll after winning Olympic bronze, looking unstoppable. But Friday night, of course, as we know, the worst came to pass, and they would have to continue down a man. No problem. And with their backs against the wall, they delivered a performance that will likely never be forgotten. The people of Lethbridge have been fantastic hosts, and 1 year from today we look forward to the Brier going back to the province it started in 95 years ago in London, Ontario. 6 days from today we move west to a prize that was earned but, well, never received. Carrie Anderson will finally get the chance to compete in Prince George and try to capture the 18th World Women's title for Canada. And if the crowd here in Lethbridge was any indication, we know that Canadians from far and wide and from all walks of life will be behind her.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I did cry.